Oh, I'm just grooving to that. I'm just grooving to that theme song. There it is, and welcome. It is Wednesday. It is June something, probably the 15th. Yes, it is June 15th, Wednesday. It is the 12th episode of Chatterbrain, the news game show, the only game show to ever exist in the United States and around the world, I am being told. Saw that on Wikipedia. Molly Rubin, what's up,
Hey.
Game Master Molly Rubin? Oh, hey, I'm Slade, by the way. I forgot to introduce myself. I think I've only introduced myself on one of our 11 previous shows.
Yeah, you'll get it one day.
I'm the editor-in-chief here at the Recount. There was a photo of me looking like some sort of Eastern European strongman while you were waiting for us to start. Molly, Game Master, how's your week going?
My week is going pretty well. It's our 3-month anniversary of Chatterbrain, so that's always really exciting.
Wow, happy anniversary, darling.
It is pretty nice today as well, so I'm enjoying the sun.
That's great. Well, welcome everyone to our 3 contestants and all of you in the chat. I see you lining up. We've got some faves here. Kiyoshi is in the chat. Our second of 3 stream queens.
Yes. Hi, Kiyoshi.
We will get to that momentarily. Edit and Forget It is saying where the chat is, everybody. Or everyone.
Tell
or whatever.
Friends.
I'm not going to read exactly what you have written. I'm going to paraphrase. But it is time for another edition of everyone's least favorite game show, Chatterbrain, the news game show. And to do so, we're going to introduce our 3 contestants. Welcome to our 3 contestants. Myca Hinton is up first. Myca is a recent graduate of Fordham University and one of the youngest voices on News Talk. This media maven not only knows her way around the newsroom, but a makeup bag as well.
Yes.
Gen Z is far from conventional, and Myca believes their news sources shouldn't be either. You can catch her and her news breakdowns, all while she explores the color stories of her palettes on TikTok at Myca Hinton. That's Myca. Myca, welcome to Chatterbrain, the news game show. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty well. How are you doing today? What's going on? What's your week like?
I mean, nothing. Just chilling, making content. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. And where are you joining us from, if you don't mind being doxxed on live TV?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Excellent. What's the weather like in Baltimore today?
Hot and humid.
All right.
We got another Fordham grad.
We got a couple. M. Ward says go Rams.
Go
Matthew
Rams.
K. Rodriguez. My friend Matthew is in the chat. I'm also a Fordham grad. Matthew is here. Welcome, Matthew.
Shout out Fordham.
Matthew and I have done various trips to Palm Springs together. We've seen various drag acts. So, Safire, you're in good company here. Myca, welcome to the show. While we introduce our 2 other fabulous contestants, Rick Stepien, right there in the middle, a.k.a. Eizenz with 2 Z's, is a gamer and a Twitch affiliate. He's had several day jobs and has spent the last decade designing houses in AutoCAD. He's an avid guitarist and streams on Twitch several times a week, playing games like Super Mario World, The Forest, Resident Evil, and Elden Ring. He has 2 kids, and much to the dismay of his wife, intends on pivoting to a career in entertainment. Rick, welcome to the show. Grace wants to know if you're related to Bill Stepien, who was supposed to testify before the January 6th commission the other day, but his wife had a baby.
Yeah. I believe he's like a second or third cousin or something. It's not a super common name, I don't think. So.
No, it is not. And tell us, Rick, what is your favorite game to play on Twitch?
My favorite game lately has been The Crew 2. It's a racing game.
All right. I like that. I played a lot of Super Sprint as a kid. For the original Nintendo, I played a lot of Super Sprint, and that's where my racing games, I left them there in about 1994.
So RC Pro-Am or Excite Bike, maybe?
Yeah, Excite Bike. Loved Excite Bike. By the way, in Mario Kart, there is an Excite Bike stadium, which is very cool. What is Abby?
How do you know about that if you haven't played racing games?
I lied. I play a lot of Mario Kart. It's the only game I still play. Abby 1955, a common visitor to this game show, says Hicksville, Long Island, in house this week for Molly.
Yes, I'm a big fan of Abby 1955.
I grew up 2 minutes from Hicksville, Long Island.
No way.
And as they say in Rent, you could take the girl out of Hicksville, but you can't take the Hicksville out of the girl.
So true.
So true. All right, we're going to move on. Oh, Dane Pearson 12 said, what? Slade, can you load the mic a bit? It's covering that great beard. Love some compliments in the chat.
Slade.
Dane, you're right.
I was going to shave it, actually, next week.
What?
But I'll keep it, just for Dane Pearson 12. Oh, Pig Whispers, Sayville on Long Island, also in the house. Love Sayville, very, very well known for its cameo appearance in the hit movie Fire Island.
A lot of New England people. I love it.
Yeah, a lot of New York, a lot of Long Island, a lot of New England. We love to see it. All right, our third contestant, the third stream queen we have had on. We've got our second one in the chat right now. Safire E Glamour, or is it Glamour? Which do you prefer?
Do not say Glamour. I don't know who you think you are when you say Glamour.
I love it.
And or where you think you are.
Yeah, the library is open. Safire E Glamour is too big to fit in any one box. She's a plus-size Polynesian drag queen from the Twin Cities. Who isn't? Who is the perfect cocktail of theater, gaming, and drag. She's also a member of Stream Queens, a growing team of drag artists and creators who stream to audiences around the world that seeks to unify the drag queens, kings, characters, and creatures of Twitch in one place. Safire, welcome to the show.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. And what's your favorite thing to do on Twitch while you stream the queens?
Oh, my favorite thing to do on Twitch is go live and then play for 6 hours with one viewer. It's very fun.
I love that. I mean, we know that theory very well there. Grace Wine in the chat says Safire looks amazing. And we all love to believe that.
I think
Okay.
Rick feels you, Safire.
We do. One question before we get started. I'm going to give you one question that we ask most of our contestants. And that is, if you could join any fictional family, what fictional family would that be? Myca, we're going to start with you. There's no points at stake. There's no wrong answers.
Okay. The Incredibles or the Pars?
All right. The Incredibles, I know well. Who are the Pars? I'm not.
Well, that's their civilian last name.
That's their name. Gotcha. Okay. I thought you were talking about Catherine Parr.
No.
The sixth wife of Henry VIII.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
European history.
Well, I've seen Six, the musical. All right. Rick, down to you. Six, the musical, which just won Best Score at the 2022 Tonys. Congratulations to Lucy Moss and Toby Marlowe and everyone involved in that production. Rick, if you could join any fictional family, what would it be?
Any fictional family, I think I would have to. So I've got 2 young kids, and they watch a lot of television. And one of my favorite ones is a television show called Bluey.
Okay.
It follows around Australian sheepdogs, like Blue something or others, but their family is so wholesome. They do tons of like adventures together. It's just very relaxed. It's not, the crazy. It's not insane cartoons like you're used to. It's very down to earth. Well, it's a lot more relatable. And I would go with that family.
Okay, well, M. Bernie, who is actually sitting to my right, said, love Bluey, grade A child TV, which I read originally as grade a child. And I was going to say, F for all the children out there. I'm grading all the children. I'm giving them an F because I do not believe that the children are our future. Down to you, Safire. Better? All right, Safire, which fictional family would you join?
I think that I would join the Bradys. I would add a little mocha latte to their vanilla family.
That is an amazing answer. No one has answered the Brady Bunch yet. That's such a good one. because you have
I bet they'd still be on the air if you were.
I want to be in their little boxes. I want to be, you know?
Just as long as you never play ball in the house.
we're doing a little Brady Bunch right now. You know, you think
I'm feeling my fantasy.
Yeah. Does this make sense with your fantasy?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Excellent. And that's all we care about. We want to make everyone as happy as humanly possible. And on that note, it is time to play Chatterbrain, the news game show. We have met our contestants. We have met our game master. We've also got Mark running the board here. We've got Megan just looking awesome. I actually don't even know what Megan's doing, but she's looking great. She's fantastic. And that's how it goes. Yeah. You're doing great stuff, whatever it is. Okay, back to the show. Molly, how do we play this goddamn game?
This freaking game. Let me tell you how it's played, because the rules are important. Actually, no, they're not. There are 2 rounds. The first round of questions is based on news of the week, and our lovely contestants who we've just met are going to play each other for ultimate dominance in round 1. And then whoever wins that round takes on the chat, you guys at home, in round 2. So this is very important. I don't know if you saw on this board with Slade before, but the contestants have been dominating. So chat, step it up if you're out there. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on Facebook, come over to Twitch, because you need to be following our channel to play along. So come over to Twitch, smash that follow button, that purple button below our stream, and play along with us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's right. So once again, to play along, if you're watching us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, wherever we're simulcasting this horrible show, you should feel free to come over and play along. You could play in the chat. It is all up to you. On that note, we have 3 categories for you: politics, tech and business, and culture. These are all questions that we have covered at the Recount this week. Each contestant will get a chance to pick 2 categories and 2 point values: 2 points, 4 points, 6 points, 8 points. So choose wisely, because we are only asking 7 questions. You will get 2 each, which is 6, and then we will choose a 7th question to ask, and the winner of that will move on. Yes. Myca, we're going to start with you. Pick us a category, pick us a point value. Oh, and all the questions are multiple choice.
Yes.
So it's easy to play and easy to guess. So, Myca, now is your chance to pick a category and point value.
Let's do politics for 4.
Politics for 4. We'll get those whiteboards ready. This is a 4-point question. The revolution may not be televised, but the insurrection sure was. And the investigation into the insurrection was televised in prime time, baby.
Hell yeah.
The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol held its first public hearing Thursday night. The hearings almost definitely are not going to transform the politics of January 6th, which the GOP called legitimate political discourse. But there were still some big moments, including when which Trump loyalist called Donald Trump's claims that the 2020 election was stolen bullshit. So one of Trump's cronies in the January 6th depositions said that Trump's claims that the election was stolen was bullshit. Who was this Trump loyalist? Was it 1, Mike Pompeo, 2, Jared Kushner, 3, Mark Meadows, or 4, Bill Barr? Once again, who called Trump's claims that the election was stolen bullshit? Was it 1, former Secretary of State and CIA Director Mike Pompeo, 2, world's most notorious grifter, real estate magnate, and some kind of bullshit, Jared Kushner, 3, former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, who's registered to vote in about 10 states, or 4, Attorney General Bill Barr? All right, contestants, we're going to give you a couple of seconds to make sure you write your votes in the chat. Get your votes in. Looks like the chat knows exactly what they think they know the answer is to. Contestants, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, reveal, and then you show that board or that paper in front of your face, nice and big. We don't mean to cover up your mugs, but we got to do it for this. So contestants, 1, 2, 3, reveal. We got a 4. We got a 4. We got a 4. It's 4s across the board, including the chat. Griffin, back home, give us a reveal.
Made it clear I did not agree with the idea of saying the election was stolen and putting out this stuff, which I told the president was bullshit. And I didn't want to be a part of it, and that's one of the reasons that went into me deciding to leave when I did.
That's right. That man right there is Attorney General Bill Barr.
Still would vote for him.
Yeah.
He knows the fuck out of that.
Yeah,
he sure did. And as the Recount pointed out in a video this week, he also recently said he would still vote for Donald Trump should he be the nominee in 2024, I believe the next presidential election is. So 4 points to each contestant. Great work. Love to see that. Rick, now is your time to give us a category and a point value.
Hell yeah. Go big or go home. 8 culture, please.
Wow. An 8-point culture question. Here we go. Actually, I did not know the answer to this question, so I would be very impressed if the three of you did.
All right. We'll see.
I work here, I think, as of right now. We'll talk.
Is that an offer?
Yeah.
I'm scared.
He was baby. Oh, no. Justin Bieber stunned fans on Friday when he announced he'd been diagnosed with complications from the same virus that causes chickenpox and shingles, and that left the entire left side of his face paralyzed. The singer said he'd have to cancel upcoming tour dates as he focuses on healing and recovery. What is the name of the rare viral condition that paralyzed half of Justin Bieber's face? Is it 1, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, 2, Carrion's disease, 3, Machado-Joseph disease, or 4, Ramsay-Hunt syndrome? Once again, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, Carrion's disease, Machado-Joseph disease, or Ramsay-Hunt syndrome?
Wow, the chat seems to think that they know it.
We either have Justin Bieber fans here, or we have people who just have recency bias, and the last choice they heard was like, I'll go with that.
You're not a fan of Bieber, Slade?
Oh, I love Justin Bieber.
Voice of an angel.
Yeah. I watched that documentary, like 6 or 7 years ago. Yeah. Never Say Tomorrow, Never Tomorrow Never Dies, Never Say Never.
Musically, it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Bieber's got some bangers. I love that one that's like, My Mom Likes Everyone Except for You.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's a great fucking song.
Love yourself.
Love yourself. What song is that?
Love Yourself.
Love Yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Dane Pearson 12 pointing out Slade is more of a Troye Sivan fan. That is actually true. That's a true story. A, he's gay. B, I've met him.
He's also
C, he had no interest in me. So, there's no sexual tension there. It's great. Okay. Contestants, on the count of 3, I'm going to say reveal, and then you do it. 1, 2, 3, reveal. All right, we got a 4. We got 4s across the board.
Holy crap.
And the chat also said 4. Griffin, is that correct?
I have this syndrome called Ramsay-Hunt syndrome. And it is from this virus that attacks the nerve in my ear and my facial nerves and has caused my face to have paralysis.
Well, there it is, an uplifting moment here on Chatterbrain.
Yeah, I was going to say, how fucked is that, man?
Yeah, Ramsay-Hunt syndrome is correct.
Wow, that was a crazy. When I saw that on Friday night, my jaw hit the floor.
Yeah, right. I thought it was bullshit.
I
really thought it was a joke.
See it. And his nose won't flare, his eyes won't it's why I did not know this could happen. Have you guys had chickenpox?
No.
Oh, you're lucky.
You never had chickenpox?
Yeah.
No, I got the vaccine. I'm young enough to have gotten the vaccine.
No way. I didn't even know there existed a vaccine. I literally just learned that, Myca. That's crazy. All right. Well,
Myca,
that sucks.
your face will be fully mobile, hopefully, for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I'm old enough that when someone got chickenpox as a baby or as a small child.
Did you go to chickenpox parties?
Yeah, like my parents. I was of that age where parents were like, "Give my kid the chickenpox, please."
Yeah.
And yeah, that's crazy.
Slade, may I ask, can you divulge like the age range? I know your birthday's coming up. Happy early birthday, by the way.
Yeah. I am a spry 43 in a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Feels
Almost
good.
44, right?
Feels good. No. I am
Almost
42
43.
now.
Okay.
For what it's worth, you look no less than 30.
Oh, thank you, Rick. That is very sweet. That is very sweet. Flattery will get you everywhere. Let's give Rick two. No, I can't. All right. 12 points for Myca, 12 points for Rick, 12 points for Safire, and Safire sitting there looking amazing. Now it is your turn to pick a category and a point value.
Okay, I'm gonna do the worst thing, and I'm gonna take a chance here. Okay, I'm gonna go for the one that I know the least about. I'm hoping I don't know anyone here, but like yet at least. But I hope nobody else knows about tech and business. I'm gonna go tech and business 8.
Tech and business for 8.
Nice.
Wow, Sapphire jumping in.
Sapphire going for the throat.
And I love that in choosing this question, you also gave an invitation to get to know your fellow contestants. That's
nice. Yeah, shoot me a DM later. I'm down.
Yeah. And didn't forget it, by the way, says you don't need to look 30. There's nothing wrong with 43. I agree. I didn't say,
true.
I agree.
So true.
I love my age. I love my body.
We're proud.
Okay, let's get to this 8-point question in the category of tech and biz. The competition for the Scrooge McDuckiest corporate villain is really heating up. Which noted anti-union business leader said at the New York Times Dealbook DC conference this week that they're, in fact, not anti-union, but that unions aren't necessary anymore since they only existed in the first place because companies in the 40s, 50s, and 60s abused their people and, quote, we're not in the coal mining business. We're not abusing our people. Is it 1, Amazon chairman Jeff Bezos, 2, Apple CEO Tim Cook, 3, Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz, or 4, Walmart CEO Doug McMillon? Once again, which not anti-union capitalist leader said that the only reason unions existed in the first place was because in the 40s and 50s and 60s, companies abused their people, saying, quote, we're not in the coal mining business. We're not abusing our people. 1, Bezos, 2, Cook, 3, Schultz, 4, McMillan. I love Yoongi0613 in the chat says, ooh, I cannot wait to eat the rich.
They will be plump and tasty, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yoongi.
As a fake Tom Brokaw said about Gerald Ford, I hope they're delicious.
I just love that this person thinks that the only purpose of unions is to keep their employees from like getting black lung and like all of the
It's
things
insane.
that
How out of touch are you from your employees?
Yeah. Well, I'll find out when I abuse them later. And and they form a union.
Make
All
sure you
right.
hire me first.
I definitely will.
Okay.
I like the vibe of that.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
the vibe of that.
That was
All
so
right,
much fun.
contestants, on the count of
Rick is
3,
dying.
reveal your 8-point answer. 1, Bezos, 2, Cook, 3, Schultz, 4, McMillan. 1, 2, 3, reveal. We got a 1, we got a 3, and we got a 1. So our first different answer question, Griffin, tell us who it is.
I've said publicly, I'm not anti-union, but the history of unions, and we have to talk about this. The history of unions is based on the fact that companies in the 40s, 50s, and 60s abused their people. We're not in the coal mining business. We're not abusing our people.
Yes, that man is Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz, former CEO, current CEO, wanted to be president in 2020. Howard Schultz, ladies and gentlemen, Howard Schultz.
Enemy of labor, Howard Schultz. Not anti-union though, just doesn't like unions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't he on the short list to become the labor secretary in this country?
I think so. That would have been a great choice.
Yeah. That is a true story. I don't know if it was Obama or Biden, but someone wanted to make Howard Schultz the labor secretary.
Time stands still for me, but I feel like it might have been Biden.
Might have been. I have no concept of time or
Me neither.
space. So
I don't think there's enough Kool-Aid for me to vote for him.
no, there really isn't. Oh, it was Warren. That's right. The Recount producer, Abby.
Ah.
Right. It was Elizabeth Warren who said that floated Schultz as a potential labor secretary. I knew that was rattling around my brain in like 2019, 20.
Background check on him.
Yeah, and this is a very famous anti-capitalist Elizabeth Warren. Incredible stuff there.
Incredible stuff.
20 points for Rick. 12 points for Myca, 12 points for Safire. We still have 4 questions to go and a shite load of points on the board. Myca, back up to you for a point value and a category, please.
Oh, okay. Let's do politics for 8.
Politics for 8. All right.
Yeah,
I love Fortune favors the bold, which is both an old expression and what Matt Damon said to get you to buy crypto before it crashed. All right. Here's an 8.
You don't have any Dogecoin, Slade?
Yeah, I do not. But I, do have a teensy amount of Bitcoin that I now have no money in. But I bought it years ago. Anyway, 8 points. Would it really be Chatterbrain if we didn't ask you some crazy shit that came out of a Florida man's mouth? And that Florida man this week is Governor Ron DeSantis.
Oh, yeah.
The governor stopped by Fox News on Monday to address the very important issue of Supreme Court justices not having big enough fences outside their mansions to keep them from having to hear the public's reactions to controversial decisions. We know what Molly, who writes these questions, thinks about the Supreme Court.
I editorialized a little bit.
Yeah, really did. Ron DeSantis said that protesting outside a Supreme Court justice's house would be considered what? Is it 1, an attack on the Constitution, 2, an insurrection, 3, domestic terrorism, or 4, harassment and verbal assault? Once again, what did Ron DeSantis say that protesting outside a Supreme Court justice's house would be considered? 1, an attack on the Constitution, 2, an insurrection, 3, domestic terrorism, 4, harassment and verbal assault. Get your answers in chat. Once again, if you're watching on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, make a Twitch account or log into your Twitch account. Come follow us here and you'll be able to vote in the chat. We need you to play these very fun, handsome contestants in the Beat the Chat round that follows this. Molly, anything to add about Ron DeSantis or the Supreme
Part of
Court?
my job is listening to what this man says every week, and every week it gets worse and worse.
It really does. Grace Wine in the chat said, I'm actually not sure there's a worse person in American than Ron DeSantis. I disagree. I think there are plenty of worse people than Ron DeSantis. I think a lot of them were at the Capitol on January 6th. I think a lot of them are protesting drag shows right now. I think a lot of them are, I don't know, me?
Definitely.
All right.
Drag shows are such good entertainment. What's wrong with that?
That's right. And Sapphire, we'll get your views on that momentarily. But on the count of 3, reveal your answers. 1, 2, 3, reveal. 2, 3, 3. All right. So we got Myca saying an insurrection and Rick and Sapphire saying domestic terrorism. Griffin, set us straight.
I think that we have a rule of law in this country, and you don't get to just have a mob descend on a Supreme Court justice's house or try to impede the operations of government because there may be a decision you don't like. That would be considered an insurrection to stop a court from functioning.
Okay. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Dude, turn on the news. There is a huge mob that descended on something to prevent the government from functioning.
These guys all go out of their ways to use the word insurrection, and it's like, guys, your own people. I like, what's going on here?
It's like they found this buzzword and they really want to use it because it's a good one, but it's about them.
Yeah.
So it's very funny.
Anyway, Sapphire, I did want to get your thoughts on this, on Republicans and conservatives really trying to target drag queens these days for seemingly no valid reason whatsoever. How are you feeling about that?
Well, it's nothing new. It's nothing new, babes. It's nothing new. Unfortunately, I don't really know. I'm kind of tired at this point. It's like these tired points being brought up that are completely false to paint queer and BIPOC people and queer BIPOC people as others and bad.
Yeah.
It's just a tired like rhetoric.
It is. It's giving 50s through 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the library before the show today to replace my library card, and I saw a sign there that said it was advertising drag story hour for neurodivergent kids. And I thought, I'm really happy that I live in New York City, and this is going on at my library.
Yeah, absolutely.
Drag story hour? I want.
And now you've got people, targeting these events with like big conservative accounts.
Well, I won't say what branch of the library it was. There are many in Manhattan.
Okay, good point. Well, I think it's safe. This is a safe space to the 20 people watching and the 3 contestants.
Oh yeah, it's the library on 20th Street, right off of 6th Avenue.
No, I'm just kidding. All right. So we have 2 questions to be asked. Or 3 questions to be asked, 2 more picks from the contestants. Rick, category, point value. Hit us up.
Tech 6, please.
Tech and biz for 6. All right, this is a 6-point question. Cheaters never win unless they become internet famous for scamming, in which case we'll happily make documentaries, podcasts, and books about them for the rest of their lives. Which notorious scammer, who was recently released from prison after serving time for fraud, hosted a live stream over the weekend where they answered questions and talked about the reaction of January 6th while they were locked up in prison? Is it 1, Firefest's Billy McFarlane, 2, fake heiress Anna Delvey, 3, Theranos' Elizabeth Holmes, or 4, Pharma Bro Martin Shkreli? Once again, which scammer hosted a live stream over the weekend where they answered questions, talked about reaction of January 6th? 1, the guy behind the Firefest, 2, Anna Delvey, 3, Elizabeth Holmes, 4, Martin Shkreli. Contestants, write down your answers while the chat gets their answers in. I did not watch this live stream.
I did not.
And I don't care.
I could give 2 shits about what he thinks, or she.
Oh, he or she. He or she.
Interesting.
All right, contestants. I'm going to give you another 3 seconds, and then I'm going to count to 3, and we're going to ask you to reveal here. 1, 2, 3, reveal. We got a 4. We got 4s across the board. Is that right, Griffin?
When the January 6th riot happened, Martin, you were in prison. Were people like freaking out about that, like conspiracy theory-wise?
A little, yeah. They were like, some people were definitely like, it's beginning. The purge is here.
The chat thought it was Anna Delvey.
Yeah. Who is still in prison or not in prison. No, she's not in prison.
I wanted it to be her, though.
Yeah, me too.
Did she get deported, Anna Delvey?
Well, she was supposed to be deported, and then her lawyers fought it. Now I think she's in some sort of like
limbo situation.
She's doing the limbo. I love Yugi. I like to be wrong on purpose sometimes. Story of my life. And Skulltronic says yes, she's in ICE custody. So yes, we did get that correct. We're not spreading fake news and propaganda on this show. Safire, down to you with our final contestant chosen category and point value. It is 26 for Rick, 26 for Myca, 18 for you. But we have a potential 10 points left because we could do a 6 and a 4 or something like that. Why don't you give us a category and a point value?
Let's do culture for 6. Let's bring it home.
Culture for 6.
Sapphire, good pick.
Susan Sohmer in the chat just got on. Hi to all you beautiful people. Susan Sohmer, better known, not just in the chat, but better known all over as giving birth to me. And it's her birthday coming up in 2 weeks. So happy early birthday to Susan, who is getting a lot of love in the chat. We love to see that. 6 points in culture. Let's get this one right. Now they'll always say congratulations. I don't get that reference.
That is a very popular song by the person that we're about to ask a question about.
Post Malone stopped by the Howard Stern show on Monday. I'll tell you who definitely got that reference is my mom. Big Post Malone
Susan's
fan.
a big Posty.
Yeah, 70-something big Post Malone fan. Post Malone stopped by the Howard Stern show on Monday to promote his upcoming 12-carat tour, proving once again why he's the best interview in the business. Howard Stern asked Malone about his schedule at the recording studio and got the rapper to reveal, is he a rapper? Got the rapper to reveal which piece of surprise news. 1, that Post Malone has a baby daughter. 2, that he recently got married. 3, that he got his bachelor's degree. Or 4, he's leaving Republic Records to start his own label. Once again, Post Malone on the Howard Stern show dropped a piece of surprise news. Is 1, he has a baby daughter. 2, he recently got married. 3, he got his bachelor's degree. 4, he's leaving Republican Records to start his own label.
Did you just say Republican Records?
No, but where was Post Malone on January 6th?
Republican Records.
Good question.
I would like to know.
I want the receipts, please.
Yeah, apparently I did say that.
What kind of music do you think Republican Records would make?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Club mixes of like old American folk songs. Like I could see a club remix of America the Beautiful.
Yeah, or a club banger of Proud to Be an American.
Fist bumping.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Edit and forget it in the chat. Says his name before the face tats was Pre-Malone.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good one, Sam.
Good one, edit and forget it, which reminds me of a joke that someone made in passing once where, Bruce Springsteen, they said before he was a famous singer, he was the employee instead of the boss. Which, you need a little bit of context there.
But,
which I think would be funnier if it were middle management. I don't know.
all right, maybe the intern?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, let's see your answers to this. What's the piece of Post Malone news? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 1, 2, 3, reveal. We got a 1. We got a 1. We got ones across the board. Wow, we got ones across the board. Is that right? Does Post Malone have a surprise baby daughter?
Let's see.
When the January 6th riot happened, Mark.
Oh, we played the wrong.
I woke up at 2:30
in the afternoon.
2:30 in the afternoon. I went and I kissed my baby girl, and then I went and played some.
When baby girl,
games.
that's you referring to your girlfriend, or you have a baby?
No, that's my daughter.
Oh, you have a daughter.
Yes, sir.
That's been on the QT though. We didn't know you had a daughter, right? You keep all that quiet.
Yeah, I want to let her make her own decisions.
There it is. Post Malone has a baby daughter that apparently has agency.
She makes her own decisions.
I want to let her make her own decisions. How old is this kid?
Within the last month, I believe.
Yeah, a 1 month old.
Newborn
I want my 1 month old to make her own decisions.
Yes.
I have an 8-month-old dog. I don't make. He doesn't get to fucking make his decisions either.
Bark once for yes.
Yeah, exactly. We got some Post Malone fans in the chat. By the way, impressive that Howard Stern knew that he did not have a daughter publicly.
Yeah. I think Howard Stern is like one of the best interviewers in the biz.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the anti-Larry King. Larry King famously did no preparation.
Mm-hmm.
That was his interview style. He said, I want to know who I'm sitting across from, and I want to be able to be inquisitive about that.
Mm-hmm.
And Howard Stern is on the other pole, which is I want to know everything there is to know about this person so that I can grill the hell out of them.
Yeah. It's like if you were watching a couple weeks ago, it's kind of the opposite of Barbara Walters. If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
Still an iconic question. Pig Whispers in the chat. My 2-month-old just registered to vote. And you know what I say to that? Vote. You got to vote. And if you're in line to vote, stay in line to your 2-month-old. Infant Agency, says Molly Rubes, who is sitting right there. All right. We have 32 points for Myca, 32 points for Rick, 24 points for Safire. We're going to ask one more question. It is this 6-point politics question. And then we will move on to the Beat the Chat round. The truth, he absolutely cannot handle the truth. The House Select Committee investigating January 6th had its second hearing on Monday. The main takeaway was that Trump continued to repeat false 2020 election conspiracies, even after his top advisors told him they were bullshit. Summarizing the committee's presentation, Representative Liz Cheney said Trump rejected the advice of experts not to declare victory on election night and instead listened to the advice of whomst. Is it 1, an apparently inebriated Rudy Giuliani, 2, an alarmed and insistent Sean Hannity, 3, a power-hungry Ivanka Trump, or 4, a completely belligerent Steve Bannon? Once again, who did Trump take his election night advice from, according to the 1-6 hearing? 1, a drunk Rudy, 2, an alarmed Hannity, 3, a hungry Ivanka, hungry for power, that is, or 4, a belligerent Steve Bannon? Contestants, write down your answers while the chat, I don't know, thinks about their own fucking answers. The chat's got its own agency too. The chat is very much like Post Malone's daughter, which is something I've often said. I actually stole that from Abraham Lincoln. You know those like macros that go around.
Have you followed his Twitter account yet?
Yeah.
Honest Abe?
I love those
Lincoln?
like fake ass quotes that get attributed to MLK and Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. Chat agency is Bieber's new rep, according to Skulltronic. All right, so contestants, on the count of 3, reveal. 1, 2, 3, reveal. We got a 1, we got a 1, we got 1s across the board. I'm just going to go ahead and say that's right. We don't need to reveal. And the reason why I'm jumping in is because we still have a tie between Myca and Rick.
For
which
the
means
first time.
Yeah, for the first
in the
time.
history of the show, our 3-month anniversary.
Yeah, which means we have to go to our first ever round 1 tiebreaker. Here's how it's going to work. Sapphire, you're going to sit there and look pretty. And Myca and Rick are going to go back and forth. There are 18 states in the United States where recreational marijuana is legal to consume for adults. We're going to start with Myca and then go to Rick. You're going to name one of those states, and we're going to keep going until one of you either says the wrong answer or can't come up with one of the states where cannabis is legal. So this is recreational cannabis, not medical cannabis.
Yes.
And Myca, we're going to start with you. Give me one state where marijuana is legal.
I want to say my home state, Maryland.
Maryland is actually incorrect. Maryland, it is still not legal. But Rick, you do need to get one right to advance. So Rick, name one of our 18 states where and you're a good girl, Myca. Thank you for not knowing that. You're, stay off the weed, in the words of Stephen A. Smith. Rick, give me a state where cannabis is legal.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, USA. Can you see that right there?
You could have got the hint from Slade shirt.
That's right. Massachusetts is correct. I've got about 25 dispensaries within 2 miles of my house.
Right?
Yeah. Not really, actually. My house is in the sticks, but within about 20 miles, there are like a dozen dispensaries.
There's a lot. Eventually, the prices will go down too, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. So that means, unfortunately, that Rick has won, and Myca and Sapphire, you will not go on to play Beat the Chat.
Or no, Myca, sorry. I just got to say, don't go outside and smoke weed near a cop because it's still legal in Maryland.
That's right. That's right. But Myca and Sapphire, we welcome you to stay and advise Rick as he plays Beat the Chat.
Yes.
And we hope that you will, and you'll give good advice because we hate the chat. We hate the chat. We want our contestants to win.
The chat has really not been showing up lately.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All right. You want to do a dance break while I flip the board?
I think we should do a dance break. What do you guys think?
Dance break?
Yeah.
Yeah, we love them into what? Get over here. All right, we are We stopped it. Sav in the back. I don't know if you can see. This is BTS's biggest fan. Get in the frame. This is Dancing Up. All right. This is legitimately the biggest BTS fan I know. That's Savannah Shepard. And she is a queen. And why are we playing BTS today? Is there news?
So unfortunately, some really tragic, devastating news dropped last night. If you're a member of the Army, you are well aware that BTS announced that they were going on the dreaded hiatus. And they're working on individual projects right now. I guess they're really burnt out, and people are worried that this is the end of the band. It's the most popular band in the whole world.
It is the most popular band in the whole world, but as a fan of the least popular band in the whole world, Fish, they have gone on 2 hiatuses and have come back stronger. So,
I love the optimism.
Yeah. And they're now, almost 60 years old and still playing some of the best music of their lives. So
they're still playing Lawn Boy.
They're still playing Lawn Boy. They sure are.
All right. Before we start round 2, I just have to remind anyone watching, if you aren't subscribed already, please subscribe to our channel. Throw us a sub. It is the #1 way that you can show us that you like what you see and you want to see more of it here on the Recount Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it to your Amazon gaming account over on Amazon. Then come back to Twitch, and if you hit that purple subscribe button under our channel, you'll see a little checkbox where you can see like gift Amazon subscription. And it's totally free, no cost to you, and it keeps us doing what we love doing, which is Chatterbrain here at the Recount. So please subscribe to our channel if you aren't already. It's the best way to support us. And if you're not following, please do.
Excellent. Good stuff. And if you're still watching right now on one of these other platforms, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube.
Thanks for the sub, Eizenz.
Come on. Oh, Eizenz just gave us a sub.
Hell
Love
yeah.
that. Cha-ching. Okay.
What's that quote? Rising waters lift all ships.
Rising tides lifts all boats.
Yeah.
You were close enough. We like that. You get no points for that. There are 5 questions. They're each worth 1 point. You've got to beat the chat. So if the chat gets 3 right, you got to get 4. You don't need your piece of paper anymore. You could talk it out with your fellow contestants. Cool. And I just want to say before we start, these categories all stay the same, and the questions change each week. But we had a couple Fish fans in the chat saying, hopefully no BTS heroin addictions, which was the problem of why Fish took a hiatus in the first place. But now they're all sober, and, well, at least the one who had the heroin addiction is a sober man, and is, a very, has sponsored recovery programs, and it's been great to see.
I learned so much
about it. That's good.
Yeah, I will never stop talking about Fish. Okay. Our first question between Rick, with the help of Myca and Safire, versus the chat. This category is called By the Numbers. We ask a question about an important number from the news this week, and you tell us what the answer is. As the old TikTok saying goes, my Bitcoin doesn't fold, it jiggles.
Do you get that?
I do, actually. I do get that one. I just got booed behind me, by the way. The whole newsroom just booed.
To.
Yeah, Molly wrote that. So let's do this one again. I'm going to do it as an old-timey newscaster. As the old TikTok saying goes, my Bitcoin doesn't fold, it jiggles. The cryptocurrency market has been hammered so badly in recent months that on Sunday, Celsius, which is one of the world's biggest cryptocurrency lenders, temporarily halted withdrawals, citing extreme market conditions. Since then, Bitcoin has lost about 25% of its value, trading at the lowest price since December of 2020. Roughly how much value has the crypto market lost since its November 2021 peak? Is it 1, 500 billion, 2, 1 trillion, 3, 1.5 trillion, or 4, $2 trillion? That's
a lot of money.
Chat, we got a bunch of people in the chat. Get your votes in now. 1, 2, 3, or 4. How much value has the crypto market lost since its November 2021 peak? 500 billion, 1 trillion, 1.5 trillion, 2 trillion. Rick, talk it out with your fellow contestants.
All right. Well, are either of you familiar with crypto? I suppose would be a good question to ask.
No. If this was a theater question, I could help you.
Okay.
No, but I do. I know what Bitcoin is currently worth. I don't know how much they've lost.
Okay.
I
fucked
will
around.
say this is the whole crypto market, not just Bitcoin.
Yes,
Keep
the
that in
whole
mind.
crypto market.
Right. So I've fucked around with crypto a little bit, enough to understand how to trade it, how to fuck weird cryptocurrency. That said, there's a fuckload of money in crypto, okay? Like an unsettling amount. I feel like 500 billion is way too low. Way too low. I am almost willing to tip on the scale of the full 2 trillion.
Ooh.
Because like it's insane. So you got to think about gained and lost, right? So there have been plenty of coins that have gone up and then plummeted. Is that plummet part of this figure? Because people get excited for a project, they want to fund it, they read the white papers and they buy it and the value increases, but then the project fizzles out and it turns to shit, and so does the coin. So to that end, I'm going to say
okay, 4. Okay, I was going to say this answer is turning into the 3rd longest filibuster before the Senate we have had. I kid. But I do want to say hello to Meet Joe White in the chat, an old-time friend who I believe this is his first appearance in the chat. He's playing the game. Yep. Joe White, hello. We like seeing Joe there. Slick Rick with the brain box humming, Skulltronic says. All right, Molly, what the chat saying? Is that the correct answer, 2 trillion?
All right, so the chat was all over the place. There were votes for every single answer, and there was a 3-way tie between 2, 3, and 4. So no plurality. The chat does not get it.
The chat does not get it.
And Rick, all of your weird crypto knowledge seems to have paid off. It is a fuck ton of money. $2 trillion. Yes. The total value of the market, which used to be $3 trillion, is now around $986 billion. So that's a big
There's money in there. I don't get it.
Those poor people.
Stay the fuck away from it. It's too volatile. Unless you've got money to throw away.
Well, Safire, you said if it was a theater question, you would know it. So I'll put it in terms you could understand. If you're a cryptocurrency holder, you are, in the words of the Spring Awakening kids, totally fucked.
I got that.
I hope you appreciate my translation.
I did.
Okay. This category is called Crazy Ass Moments.
Hey.
And all of these questions come from Molly's favorite Twitter account, which is
Crazy Ass Moments on Twitter. AMPOL, AMPOL_moment. It is phenomenal. And I actually DM'd them yesterday with some ideas of my own. So we'll see if they show up.
Wow, amazing. Here's your question, gang. Which former world leader on a highly publicized and very controversial visit to the United States insisted on visiting an Iowa cornfield where he was absolutely delighted by all the corn he saw, and then looked on with approval when the farmer whose field was being trampled on by all the commotion started pelting reporters with husks of corn?
This is 100% true.
Is it 1, Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev, 2, Chinese Communist Party Chairman Mao Zedong, 3, Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi, or 4, Cuban Prime Minister Fidel Castro? Once again, which of these great men, thank you for asking this question, looked on with amusement while an Iowa corn farmer pelted reporters for trampling on their corn?
And absolutely lost his shit with delight when he
Do we have video or photo of this?
There is photo, yes.
Are we going to show it?
We are going to show it.
Oh my God.
If only there was video of him losing it.
Yeah.
As the
I love
people
it.
are getting pelted by these husks.
Yeah. All right, Rick, do you want to talk it out with your contestants? You got 10 seconds.
All right, 10 seconds. Limiting me. Which one? Guys, gals, do you know?
What
sound?
I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't think it's 4.
Okay.
And I don't think it's 2.
Definitely not 4.
And I don't think it's 3. I'm going to go with number 1.
Nikita Khrushchev. Well, Molly, what did the chat say? And what's the correct answer here?
I am suspecting that there are some either people in the chat that follow this Twitter account or some talking amongst themselves going on, because the chat was pretty aligned.
Whoa.
They agreed. They thought it was one Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev. And let's do a visual reveal. Let's show the pic.
There it is.
There he is, loving his corn, loving it.
He's all about that shit.
Absolutely delighted. And then photo number 2.
Ah!
And
Oh, wow.
there he is. Bottom right, you can see him in the light suit. He is clapping, he is smiling, and then the farmer is the guy in the tie. That is his buddy who he met in Moscow. This farmer invented some sort of great corn, and Khrushchev totally derailed his schedule of visiting the United States, insisted on going to this cornfield, which was not a part of the plan, and developed this relationship with this farmer and just absolutely loved it. The town had 1,200 people and 5,000 people showed up on that day. And the farmer was so upset, he just started chucking corn at everybody.
Yeah, I love that.
Bad for the guy, honestly.
To another point for Rick. So it's 2 for Rick, 1 for the chat. Excuse me, Edit and Forget It with a great point. He would have been the only one allowed on U.S. soil.
I was hoping that wasn't quite obvious from the answers, but yeah, everyone seemed to know that.
Well, I think subconsciously.
Yeah.
Khrushchev was the Lauren Hutton of his day, Skulltronic.
I do think Fidel Castro visited the U.S. In the early 50s.
To play baseball?
No.
To Father Justin Trudeau? All right. I'm just spreading conservative
this is
propaganda.
What I DM'd to Ampol was that during some UN meeting in 2009, Muammar Gaddafi pitched he wasn't allowed to stay in any U.S. hotels. No one would let him. So he pitched a tent on Donald Trump's property.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Gaddafi was an interesting guy.
Yeah.
And now dead.
All
All right.
I hope that's the only tent being pitched around the Trump residence.
Oh,
hey-o. All right. Working a little blue. All right. This category is called Reframe. We're going to show you a photo from the news this week. You're going to tell us what it is. We're going to show it to you so zoomed in that you can't necessarily tell what it is. So, Mark, or Griffin, who's running that? All right. There's your photo. And then you tell me what this is. Is this 1, an exhibit at Art Basel 2022 in Switzerland? Is this 2, part of the stage at Halsey's Gov Ball headlining set?
The government ball?
I'm an idiot. Part of the stage at Halsey's Gov Ball headlining set? Is it 3, the opening of the rebranded Russian McDonald's in Moscow? Or 4, public art in Beijing to cheer up residents amid new COVID lockdowns? Once again, we'll show that one more time. Is that 1, an Art Basel exhibit? 2, part of the stage at Halsey's Gov Ball headlining Russian McDonald's? Or 4, public art in Beijing? Talk it out, contestants.
All right, what do you guys think? And gals.
I can tell you, I don't think it's Halsey.
Yeah, I don't think it's Halsey either.
No, not with that money.
And I want to say 3, except
same.
Except Russia, the McDonald's, I think they scrapped the title too. It's not even called McDonald's anymore.
Really?
Well, don't go by that. Don't go by that. We were using a colloquialism.
Rebranded.
If you like that as an answer, don't let that jump you off.
It's I was gonna put the real name in there, and I was just like, Slade will never be able to pronounce this, so I just said rebranded.
I don't know if that's shade or not.
I mean, low key, right?
Yeah.
From the man who just said government ball. Okay.
The government ball.
I don't know. I think it's 3.
All right, going with 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right, going with 3. Molly, chat, and is that right?
All right. So the chat was sort of between 3 and 4, but a majority went with 3. So let's see the reveal.
There it is. Russian McDonald's.
There it is. Russian McDonald's. If anyone read about the rebrand, I'm going to butcher. It's like Shoshka and Shoshki is the name of the new McDonald's. And those like symbols that you see are supposed to be very minimalistic representations of burgers and fries. The circles and the line.
No, so you're a fan of Russia now, huh?
I'm a fan of branding, Slade.
Okay.
It's more like hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird minimalist symbolism, apparently.
I'm not getting it though.
It's giving just
nothing. It's giving
dots and
giving
lines.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I will say two things. One is the government ball should be the name of that thing. It is, by the way, I hate that. I've been there once. I hate that festival. It is just
I'm staying away from the government's balls, thank you.
And two, you guys remember when Halsey called for another 9/11?
No.
When she got a bad review from Pitchfork, and she was like, I can't wait for the offices that Pitchfork is in to collapse. And everyone was like, dude, it's in the World Trade Center. And she had to delete it. And she was like, oh my God. And everyone on the internet was like, Halsey just called for another 9/11.
Oh my God, she would.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which was one of the best days on the internet. I really genuinely, there are not a lot of good days on the internet. Halsey calling for another 9/11 was, and I could say that as someone who was in 9/11, I can make a 9/11 reference and joke. Okay, here we go. Question number 4, time machine. Time machine. At the Recount, we're all about current news and events, but sometimes we like to go way back and talk about moments from the past. Today is a pretty cool day in history of media and technology. What important innovation was invented on today's date in 1878? Was it 1, the first transmission was sent over radio waves? 2, the first moving pictures were recorded on camera. 3, the first audio was recorded on a wax cylinder. Or 4, the first color photograph was taken. Once again, what happened on today's date in 1878? 1, transmission over radio waves. 2, the moving pictures recorded on camera. 3, the first audio recorded on a wax cylinder. Or 4, the first color photograph. Talk it out. You got 15 seconds.
Chat.
What do you think, team?
I think I remember doing like a theater thing that was based on this.
Okay.
So, and it had to do with a horse, and it being like one of the first moving sort of pictures. So I'm thinking it's 2, but I might be in the wrong year.
I don't know. Okay, I know that Edison's phonograph came out in 1878, and phonographs they're like I guess like the thing before record players. I want to say 3.
So you've got a 2 and a 3 before you, Rick. It is up to you to break that tie and tell us what you think happened on today's date in 1878. I got to say, impressive knowledge by Myca and Safire right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, because I was actually kind of lost with this. So I'm happy to have you teammates. Thank you so much.
Which one of us do you like more, though?
Well, it's nothing personal, baby. It's nothing personal.
Okay. I won't take it personally.
Safire, I appreciate your recommendation, but I'm going to have to go with Myca on this and say number 3.
That's fair.
Wow, that is a bold strategy. Molly, what happened here?
All right, so this is actually a reveal. Griffin. There it is, the first moving image recorded on camera. You are so right, Safire. That is indeed a horse. So this happened. The photographer had a standing bet, or sort of a wager, with the former governor of California about whether horses took all of their feet off the ground when they were galloping. And the only way that they could figure it out was to record in real time a horse's gallop. So they used 12 cameras. It cost $50,000, which is like $1.5 million in today's money, and proved once and for all that horses take all their feet off the ground, aka fly, when they run.
Wow, Safire, well done, Rick.
I'm sorry, Safire. I'm sorry.
Do I get the point? Do I get the point? Oh.
You get all the love from the
got
chat.
That right. Also on today's date, big date in medieval history, Magna Carta was signed today. Marvin Gaye released Let's Get It On.
12/15.
12/15. Good for you. June
Nailed
15th,
it.
12/15. The Lion King opened in theaters today in
1994.
Nice.
Bob Barker stepped down as the host of The Price is Right. 2009.
Oh, wait.
And Elizabeth Holmes was charged with fraud in 2018.
Ah. All right. So it is 3-3.
A lot of stuff happening.
A lot of stuff happened today. I mean, the Magna Carta, can't really beat that.
Pretty big deal.
It gave us not only like the Magna Carta, but it also kind of gave us Pippin the musical. So, you know, thank you to Charlemagne.
Okay.
Yeah, Pippin, in my opinion, the greatest musical ever written. Thank you, Stephen Schwartz.
And that can stay your opinion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, fight me. If you're in the chat and you've got musical opinions, Sapphire, what is your favorite musical?
It really changes with the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Yeah. Right now I'm really into A Strange Loop, which just won
Oh, yeah.
Best Musical at the Tony Awards.
Best musical, best book.
Mm-hmm.
I saw
see that?
Lion King like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Nice.
Down on
Awesome.
Broadway. Awesome.
The old Julie Taymor classic. The Lion King.
Yeah.
Still slaps 25 years later.
Fucking killed it. It was an awesome
All right.
film.
Susan Sohmer in the chat says Pippin rocks. That's a family dynamic right there. That's a family that loves Pippin.
Like mother, like son.
Absolutely. All right. So here's our final question. Unless it is tied, we'll do one tiebreaker. Bye, Christian. All right.
Bye,
We're
Christian.
losing people in the newsroom. The newsroom is sick and tired of this show. There's a live studio audience being held captive by me.
It's like 6 o'clock, pal.
I know, right? All right. Weird state laws is the category here. This is our favorite question. This is all about states that have really weird frickin' laws on the books.
Oh,
And before I say that, I Love Yoongi in the chat said, oh my God, I just got tickets for a Strange Loop. You're going to love it. Strange Loop, incredible show. Easily the gayest and blackest thing I've ever seen on Broadway.
That's awesome.
And in a good way. Finally, some non-white representation on the old Broadway boards. Okay, so here's your question, Rick. Are you sick of podiatrists running rampant with X-ray technology? Us too. That's why it's so great that legislatures in one great state of our nation are finally doing something about it. Where is someone guilty of a misdemeanor if they use an X-ray machine to try and determine a person's shoe size? Is it 1, Arizona, 2, Nevada, 3, Pennsylvania, 4, Virginia? Chat, get your votes in. Once again, Rick, that question for you. Where is someone guilty of a misdemeanor if they use an X-ray machine to try and determine a person's shoe size? Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. Talk it out.
Help, team.
I can't help you with this one because I have no clue.
Well, as all of you know, I love feet. No kidding.
Any picks?
I think we need to think about which state is the most insecure about their feet, like their shoe size. So to me, I'm thinking like East Coast. So like Virginia, Pennsylvania, that kind of area.
I'm right there with you, Sapphire. I agree. And interestingly enough, Virginia is awful close to where a lot of New England snowbirds like to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Then I know the elderly do have kind of jacked up feet a lot, right? So, Sapphire, what do you think? 4?
I was
Virginia
thinking,
is for feet lovers.
I was thinking PA. I was thinking Pennsylvania, to be honest.
Sorry, say that again?
I've only been to Pennsylvania and I've been there. So like I was thinking Pennsylvania, but if you feel strongly about Virginia.
I do, I think.
All right.
So yeah, I'm gonna lean in on that and go with number 4, Virginia.
All right. Rick says Virginia. Molly, what the chat saying? What's the correct answer?
All right. So we have an interesting situation here because the chat has tied.
No, tie is no good.
All right. Well, then no one got it correct because The answer is Nevada. So there's some people in the chat that were trying to give the right answer, but so this law is actually on the books. You cannot use an x-ray machine to try and determine a person's foot size because it's actually meant to discourage people. It's from using this crazy machine that was popular in the 30s and 40s in shoe stores, where it was basically a wooden box that had a metal box inside of it, and you'd stick your feet inside of it, and there was 2 viewing holes, and the shoe fitting guy and your mom could look in there and see how much wiggle room you had in your toes, and it caused horrific burns, horrible radiation poisoning, and lots of cancer. And so it's totally illegal to use, but this law is still on the books in general.
That's wild.
Wow. That is crazy.
Imagine growing up in those times.
Yeah. I mean, we probably did. I believe in reincarnation. So, you know, I think you were like a gold prospector in the 1840s and then reincarnated as a casino dealer in Nevada in the 1930s.
That sounds about right.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm getting loopy. I'm a strange loopy right now.
A strange
So
loopy.
we're going to go to one bonus question. It's going to be Tech and Biz for 4 if you want to load that one up for the chat. So, Rick, here's how this one's going to work. I'm going to ask you this question. If you get this right and the chat gets this right, unfortunately, the chat will be victorious because you need to beat the chat. If the chat gets this one wrong and you get this right, you're the winner this week. And if you both get it wrong, well, I don't know what to fucking tell you, man. So
go cry and shame.
Here is a question from the news this week that I bet you know the answer to. We'll see if the chat does. So, Myca, Safire, get ready to weigh in and help Rick, who needs help. Scarier than a horror movie. The supply chainsaw massacre continues to run wild. Molly, you were on one this week writing these questions.
I love a pun.
In the past few months, keep it up. In the past few months, U.S. stores have been short on everything from baby formula to pet food to sriracha, putting a huge strain on consumers across the country. Which of the following products is the latest to face nationwide shortage and price gouging?
No, I know this.
I know the answer already.
Is it 1, Band-Aids, 2, tampons, 3, ibuprofen, 4, razor blades? If you know it already, tell me what.
Voting.
Looks like the chat knows this one. Unfortunately, I think this is going to end poorly for our brave contestants.
It just went up on the wire like yesterday afternoon, so I thought maybe.
Yeah, I chose it at random. I was hoping Tech and Biz would throw the chat off. But, you know, at the end of the day, the chat has to win sometimes. So, Rick, tell us your answer.
Tampons.
It's tampons. And the chat also, I believe, said tampons with 100% of the vote. Griffin, if you're still there, if you could reveal that, whether or not that's the right answer.
Supply shortages and rising prices now impacting your monthly cycle.
It's really like the last straw of the past couple of years.
Experts blame rising prices of raw materials for this nationwide tampon shortage.
It's a shortage of supplies, everything from the plastic, the cotton, and all of the materials used to make the product.
There it is. Unfortunately, the correct answer was tampons. And unfortunately for women everywhere and people who use tampons, that this is a story in the first place.
That clip was very funny to me because every time they said tampon, there was a pad on screen, and every time they said pad, there was a tampon on screen.
Oh, wow.
I think
a man made that segment. Clearly. And I love Jungi points out the last straw. I love that woman's quote. She's like, this is the last straw.
The last straw.
This is the last straw. Everything that's gone wrong over the last 3 years. Now I can't get fucking tampons.
I'm freaking done.
I'm done. I'm done with society. All right. Unfortunately, Rick, and unfortunately, Myca, and unfortunately, Safire. That means that our chat has won for the first time in
a couple weeks.
I think 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But that doesn't reflect poorly on you. You three did amazing. You had fountains of knowledge, fountains of Wayne. You had fountains of all kinds of stuff. We thank you for joining us on this show. RIP Fountains of Wayne, by the way. Before we let you go, we always like for you to give a plug for where we can find you out there in society. Myca, we'll start with you. Where can we find you? Give us a plug, anything you want to tell us.
Yeah, you guys can find me on TikTok at Myca Hinton and on Instagram at Miss Media Maven 22.
Miss Media Maven 22. Love that. Is that a new account, or 22 was the year you graduated college?
It's the year I graduated college, but also 2 is like one of my favorite numbers, and I'm a twin.
All right.
So 2 2s.
Ooh, maybe we'll have a twins day. Would you come back on with your twin, or do you have
if she would want to come on, I would totally do it.
All right, Molly, write that down.
All right.
We're gonna do twins trivia. All right, Rick, where can we find you out in the world?
All right, I stream several times a week, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, over at twitch.tv/Eizenz, EIZENZ. That's where I'll be.
Nice.
Amazing.
I like that Americans. Are you American by birth?
I am.
Yeah, I like that Americans are picking up on the Z trend. I've seen it more, I believe.
I feel like we need to adopt the metric system as well.
All right, that is a hot take. We'd love for you to, throw that up on a Twitch stream one day. Give us your whole thoughts on what the U.S. should adopt from the rest of the world, because I firmly believe it. My number one answer is fucking healthcare. All right, Safire, where can we find you out in the world?
Well, you can find me. Well, I'm currently on hiatus from streaming on Twitch. However, I am featured in if you know what actual play is, tabletop RPG. I'm featured in an actual play on the Dylan Dean's channel every Monday, or most Mondays. And you can find me on social media at Safire E Glamour. That's SAFIREEGLAMOUR.
Yes, and do not ever say glamour around this glamorous creature. All right, Safire, Rick, Myca, thank you so much. This game was really fun to play, and I really enjoyed having all three of you. Molly, give us a closing shot. How'd you enjoy today's program?
I thought today's program was amazing. We had three really smart. The scores were really high. You can always tell when people are smart when their scores creep up toward the end. So I had so much fun. This was a great day. And I'm glad we got to talk about Khrushchev's weird corn obsession, because I'm very into that.
Yeah, that's a good band that should play at Government Ball. Khrushchev's weird corn obsession. So at true. Government Ball 2023.
My band name, as discussed in the chat, though, is going to be Infant Agency.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
If I had a band, I would both a drag name and a band. It would be Intravenous Williams.
Nice.
Yeah, that's always been my goal, is to become Intravenous Williams. Anyway, Molly, our game master, puts together a hell of a show. Give a round of applause to Molly in the chat. Mark on the board. Mark does all our switcheroos over here. He's an amazing person and a great technical operator. Megan back here was handling our chat, and also said, had a really funny line right now when Safire said, I'm on hiatus. And Bernie said, just like BTS. A good callback. We love a good callback on this show. We also have Griffin, who is not in studio, but has been doing all our reveals. For some reason, this is a 5 or 6 person show to just make me look somewhat decent on a weekly basis. So we thank them. And all of you out there in the chat, we love having you week after week. I love fucking around with you. You're great people. Come back week after week. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Tell everyone you know. Every Wednesday, 5 p.m., I think, Eastern Time, right here on Twitch. If you're elsewhere watching this on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, come join us. Sub, follow, do whatever it takes. Someone make a meme of me pointing at the camera and saying, sub. All right. Molly, thanks again. Take us out.
Thank you, Slade. It's been a great week, and join us next week for Slade's birthday. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Join us next week. For the first time in like 15 years, I'm going to work on my birthday. My policy is always take off of work on your birthday. Always, always, always.
Yes.
Except this year, because I host this dumb show, I want to be here. So 43 will be the year of Intravenous Williams, says M. Bernie next to me. We love that. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to all the first timers like Joe White, Matthew Rodriguez, some names I did not see before. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you all. Happy Wednesday night. Follow the recount.